Hi, everyone.
Hey there. You're live with Nicki and AM.
Did you guys miss us? I know we were gone all last week.
Oh yeah, we skipped last week.
We did skip last week.
Last week was
How was Dallas?
Dallas was wonderful. It gave me opportunities to eat delicious queso, which no one in Seattle has ever heard of. Nobody knows what it is.
It's just cheese.
It's not just cheese.
Oh my god. Whoops, I just entered a different can of worms. I don't know if we should get into that.
I'm questioning whether I should just walk out right now, actually.
Seriously? Just because I said it was melted cheese?
Queso is the national...
What is queso?
Export of Texas, actually.
Oh, really?
It's a staple of Tex-Mex food. It's delicious. It's more than just cheese.
It's not melted cheese?
Yep, there's magic in it, too.
What's the magic?
Can't tell you. You have to be a Texan to know.
Oh, God. Okay,
Speaking of Texans, I gotta give a shout out to my mom. It's her birthday today. People are gonna think
Happy birthday, AM.
I'm crazy because all I do is talk about my family. But
what's her name?
Her name is Adrian, and it is her 27th birthday. Can you believe it? 27 years old. Happy 27th
birthday, Adrian.
Watch out! It's the 27 Club, right?
Yeah, it is the 27
Club.
Yeah,
Jimi Hendrix, Kurt Cobain. Watch out, Mom.
It's a good age to be. 27 is like the best part of your
The best part is I'm somehow older than she is now. It's amazing how
that's a magical thing that you have going.
Yeah.
That's
like significantly.
That's not biologically possible, though.
I guess. I don't know. She keeps telling me 27. That's how old I am. I just trust her. She's my mom.
Adrian. And thanks for always watching our show.
Yes.
So what are we doing today?
What are we doing today? We are going to secure one of our backend services. Not all of them, because we still need people to access it, no matter if they're logged in or not. But we've got some features of our app that we're building that not everybody should get to, right? We got to keep.
You have to be authorized.
That's right. You got to be authorized. Actually, we're not going to really dive into too much authorization. That's a good point to bring up first, though. By the way,
the difference.
You led me right into
authorization and authentication.
There's a big difference between authentication and authorization.
Right? I think. You should have to explain it in under a minute. Check this out.
Oh yeah,
I got a timer now.
Show them the top.
This is a 1 minute timer. You can see that.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to explain the difference between.
Before I do that, let's just go over quickly what this channel is, what we're talking about. No. Authentication is verifying someone's identity. Authorization is instead giving them access to secured materials in your backend systems. Done.
Wow. You didn't even get like halfway through it. That was pretty good.
Plenty of time.
Yes, that is the difference. Which one are we focusing on today?
Today it's mostly authentication.
That's right.
Not authorization. If you have access to our web app, you're going to have access to do the two things that we're adding to our backend services.
So once you authenticate, you will have authorization.
Correct. We'll recognize you as a user of our application.
That's right.
So
what else?
What are we doing? Like, what is this? What is the show? Who are you?
Oh, that's right. This is the Live with AM and Nicki show. If you've never watched before, my name is Nicki. I'm a technical evangelist at AWS. That's a really weird title, but what that actually means is that they pay me to play with cool new things that they build and then show other people how cool they are.
Yeah, we build software still. We interact with developers. That's our primary job.
Talk to developers.
Yeah. I'm Alan Michael, or AM for short. Most people prefer the shorter version. But I'm also on Nicki's team, and we've been running this show for a couple weeks now.
Yeah, this is our 5th episode.
And the whole premise of this season of the show, that's right. You have to be authenticated.
That's a spoiler. He's going for. Anyway. That's a spoiler. It's an early spoiler.
But this season is primarily focused on practices around developing a modern web application, specifically web app, right? But a lot of these, a lot of things that we go over.
Modern application development is a hot topic.
Yeah, they translate to mobile app dev, to even desktop app development as well. Just basically client applications that you're creating.
Yeah, almost everything that we've done in the last couple episodes can be translated to any type of application.
And 2 weeks was a long time ago. What did we do?
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I don't even know where I am right now.
I remember we created our data tier.
Yes, we did, with Dynamo.
We created our Dynamo tables.
Yep.
And then we actually, so if you remember from the first couple of episodes, our .NET backend was purely spitting out a hard-coded JSON object in our structure, our file structure. Now, after 2 weeks ago's episode, it is pulling from Dynamo the data, the Mysfits data, and then giving it to the front end, and Angular is spitting it out.
Yeah, we've been using Angular because it's my preferred framework, and I wrote the front end piece of this tutorial.
And I wrote the back end.
You wrote the back end. You really like .NET, so that's another reason why it's in .NET. I like .NET too.
Yeah, we know you do.
I do. It's great. I like Node.js too. There's a couple.
So that's what we did last time. This time, the services that we're going to focus on are going to be Amazon Cognito.
What does Cognito do?
Cognito you can use for both.
What's Cognito do?
Cognito you can use for both authentication and authorization, but authorization within AWS. So there's two parts to Cognito. One is called user pools, and the other one's called federated identities. And then if you use federated identities, you can authorize specific IAM roles and give them permissions to do certain things in your AWS account or world. And in user pools, you can authenticate your users and save your users in a database, sign up, register, log in, all the things. That's it. I did it.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
Did I miss anything?
It comes with other features like confirmation codes sent to confirm sign up, forgot password
Hurry up.
features, things like that. But what you would expect out of an authentication server, essentially.
It's pretty cool. Today we're going to use the user pools feature of it.
Yes.
And we're going to set it up not the manual way. We're going to use Amplify.
Yeah, one of my favorites.
Yes. So we're going to talk about Amplify. I know we've been telling you that we're going to talk about Amplify like the last two episodes.
Well, we talked about
it
a little.
We're actually going to talk about Amplify.
Yeah, and we're going to actually do things with Amplify today,
That's
too.
right.
Up till this point, we really could have only hosted our application with Amplify. A lot of the other pieces of the tutorial were done with CloudFormation and other pieces of deployment, right? Amplify is another tool for deploying and setting up backend service.
So who should watch?
Who should watch? Anyone. My mom, she's watching. My sister, my wife. My wife doesn't watch very often. She's at work.
My fiance doesn't watch very often either.
I think it bores her too.
I really do. I think they're like, I can't understand what you guys are saying.
Yeah, everybody should watch though, no matter what level
you're new to AWS and you've never used AWS before, you're welcome to follow along.
Could you take the timer and switch it the coffee mug?
And also, if you are new to development in AWS in general, you can watch. We will explain everything that you need to know. And
you can ask us questions. That's the cool part about Twitch.
Please engage with us. I am watching the chat live on Twitch. Someone's saying that we can't see the sand timer. We've relocated it. Can you now see it, hopefully? There it is. I think your computer was in the way.
Wow, my computer's always in the way.
I know.
This isn't even turned on, by the way.
If you would like to follow along with us, I'm going to put the GitHub link in the chat.
Wonderful.
And we are working on module 4 today.
Yeah, I also have to call out, you've got a terrible shirt on today.
I wore this shirt specifically to piss you off.
Not a big fan of the friends.
Specifically.
We're
still not friends.
I wore this shirt for the keen observer because it's a Kenny Loggins shirt.
That's always what you wear.
I love Kenny
Loggins.
What's new?
What is different about your shirt than every other week?
Nobody's seen this shirt before.
I've seen that shirt like at least 100 times.
And some people at conferences have, but nobody on the Twitch stream has seen it yet. It's Kenny Loggins shirt.
Guys, if you have seen this shirt, please let us know.
Highway to the danger zone.
I think you should put this in the back of your closet and not wear it for like 3 months.
It's a metal shirt, but it's Kenny Loggins. I love it. I'm explaining the joke, and it makes it funnier. Just so you know, that's what happens when you explain jokes. They get funnier. So, Module 4 is where we're at, right?
We're at Module 4. So we're going to cover 3 key concepts today. How to set up Amplify, and then how to use Amplify to set up Cognito user pools.
Right.
The second one is how to create an API gateway using Swagger.
Swagger.
I'm going to talk about what Swagger is if you're not familiar.
It's what you've got.
I got Swagger.
Yeah.
That's right. With this shirt, I totally got
Swagger. I don't have Swagger. I'm missing that gene.
You're lacking that Swagger gene?
Yeah. I don't have that DNA.
I feel bad for you.
It's fine.
Okay, the third concept is we're going to deploy our API and update our backend and front end to reflect the new changes that we're going to add these methods that will have user authorization required.
Right.
And they are liking, adopting, and viewing your Mysfits profile. So if you went to, I think it's Mysfits.com.
I think it's actually only
mythicalmisfits.com
liking and adopting. Those are the only two things secured behind.
that you need the actual, got it.
Yeah. So we're going to actually add those features to our
Backend.
To our regular backend that's running in ECS with
And
Fargate,
front end.
right? Right now we've got NLB in front of it. Now it's going to be tough. NLB doesn't have support for things like TLS. It doesn't have support for like automatically doing TLS. Let me rephrase.
Okay.
It doesn't have things like verifying an authorization header, for example, right? It's a lower level in the networking stack.
Which is why we're going to put API Gateway in front of it.
Right. It's I believe tier 4 of that networking layer, not a tier 7. Like I believe tier 7 is ALB, right? The application load balancer.
Yeah, we can establish routing.
Correct. You could also use an application load balancer to do this, but with API Gateway, we can also place that in front of our network load balancer.
That's right.
Right?
Which we set up 2 episodes ago.
Yeah, you get a little bit more features like I can version the API, for example. I can verify and validate the input that's coming into the API before it even touches my backend system. You can do a lot of things with
You
API
can transform the data as well if you
and
want to.
the piece that we need, it's that auth header, right?
That's right.
So it's going to verify authorization. Nope, authentication. Going to do that 100
times.
times.
To switch those up.
It verifies the authentication.
Hopefully you're an expert by now and know the difference since we've explained it.
That was pretty quick too, I have to say.
You screwed that up within like 5 minutes.
Well, yeah, of course I will. What do we got in chat?
Okay, let's see if there's any questions before we keep going. Cognito, opposite of incognito. Let's dive in. Bluefish Fugu, we are going to dive in momentarily. Somebody says, can't wait for the Cognito topic. I've been trying to do sign up and log in for my app for days and no success. I'm using Xamarin and Visual Studio. K's8401, we got you.
Yep. All right, so let's
do it.
Let's go. We'll take a look at my screen because I'm driving today, driving this crazy bus.
Yeah, and he's still pulling his command straight off the README. So
of course I am.
No change.
This way you know where it is. You can come reference. And also I'm a lazy programmer.
Really lazy.
I like to think of it as efficient, not lazy.
So
we're going to talk about Amplify.
Let's talk about Amplify. I was just going to ask you to tell me how Amplify specifically could help K's.
Yeah.
What is it? K's 8401. You're building a Xamarin app. You're building a mobile application.
Sure.
How can Amplify help K's 8401?
So I'm not sure, actually. I don't think there's currently support in .NET for Amplify. There's support for a couple frameworks, right? So Amplify is composed of 3 key pieces. Mm-hmm. The first is the Amplify CLI, which we're going to interact with a lot today. And if you look on my screen, that's how I'm telling you how to install that right there.
Amplify does support both iOS and Android development.
It does.
Though, so if you can pull in a file into your Xamarin solution that you're building an iOS or an Android app, then you actually would be able to use it.
Well, no, because the libraries that you generate or that you interact with are in Swift or Java. So you're not going to be able to write .NET code currently. So I don't know how it would pan out, but I'm going to err on the side of saying probably not.
Different code that's in Swift or Objective-C through a header.
Okay.
In Xamarin, I believe. It was a long time ago.
I'll say this is probably uncharted territory.
Yeah, it was a long time ago, but I'm pretty sure you're able to pull in a Swift like CocoaPod or package.
Sure. So, step 1 of Amplify, CLI. Step 2 is the libraries, right? And each library has support in a couple different mobile and web frameworks, right? We've got React support, Angular support, Vue.js support, React Native, Ionic, the list goes on, iOS and Android, right? So you can call the library functions from the Amplify library in each of these frameworks to hook up directly to your backend systems without having to write the code to do that.
That's right. And what's the third part of Amplify?
Pre-built UI components.
So nice.
Yeah, so authentication, right? That's you're going to have to build a lot of UI around that. Sign in, sign out, register, confirmation code. And what's cool is you can use the drop-in authenticator UI component in a number of these frameworks as well. I didn't, though. for our project, I built a custom one.
That was nice.
You can use the library, the underlying Amplify library, to still cut into the development time and make it swift. I was going to say swift on the brain, but faster development time.
So just to clarify, there's 3 parts to Amplify. The part where it's going to create the AWS resources for you, the libraries that you can use to use the methods that are the same, sign in, register, login, as an example of one area of Amplify that's supported, and then the UI components. So you can have your entire authentication basically pre-built out for you in a few lines of code using Amplify, which
That's
is really cool. We're going to show you that today.
So I'm in if I PWD, I am in the module 4 front end directory.
Okay.
Right? So this is my Angular project.
That's right.
I can ls the
You're
source.
really proud of that Angular project.
It's great. It's cool, I
Yeah,
think.
He's proud of it because he wrote it.
I'm not that proud of it.
Yeah, you are. Okay, so now you're inside your
Yeah, so I'm
Angular
just
app.
listing out, showing you some of the files and components of the Angular app. We don't have Amplify in here yet.
Okay, so how do we add it?
I've already downloaded and installed, or I didn't download, I installed with Node Package Manager Amplify. But if you need that command, flip over real quick, it's right there, right? This is the command.
npm install -g for global.
And then you want to run configure. Configure will help you set up a user in your local environment that can connect to your AWS services.
Okay,
So
great.
you can create them, right? So using the Amplify CLI.
Okay.
If I just type Amplify, it's going to show me in just a second all of the things that I can do with Amplify. These are the categories, right?
So we're gonna do auth today.
I was going to say, can you guess which category we're going to interact with?
I already pre-guessed it. I knew what you were gonna ask me.
I know. We spend too much time
We
together.
really do.
I love
that's
this graphic.
cool. That's
I
really-
gotta show the
that's
graphic
really
too.
cool.
It's pretty cool. But we can't add anything to our project yet because our project has to first
Init.
init. We gotta initialize a new project. I told
Okay.
you we don't have anything Amplify in this project. Like
So if he wasn't already configured,
I can also use
then he
the
would run
status.
Amplify configure, but he's probably just gonna run Amplify
see,
init.
it doesn't actually have an Amplify project. You are not working inside. Yes, but I would run Amplify configure. I'm not gonna do that. It's
Because you're already configured.
I already have it, and it's also a longer process.
Yeah, it's just going to ask you a number of questions to help you create an IAM role in
Correct.
AWS to create these resources for you that Amplify will help you.
This
Choose your editor.
is super cool.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
VS Code.
VS Code, always, right?
Yeah, duh.
So when I run Amplify init, it's going to set up. So Amplify is what I like to call an opinionated tool, right? It's got a lot of opinions on how to set things up. You can tweak some of those things. Some of them you can't, but it's got a lot of leeway for doing custom things too. But it asks you a bunch of questions to find out how to set up your project
Cool.
because it's opinionated, right?
That's right.
So JavaScript, look,
Angular.
there we go.
Yes.
It can like auto detect
What
my
you're-
favorite environment, right?
That's amazing.
Then these are actually telling about your project. So where is the source located? These are hallmarks of an Angular project. It already knows. It's pre-built.
Right. So if this was like React, it would be like SRC and then build
Right.
or yeah.
We
build.
have dist in
Yeah, if you're familiar with
Yeah.
React, your
This is
production files would go into a build folder.
this is an Angular command here, ngserve. That's how you start your project
Right.
in an Angular app.
So this would be npm run script start.
Do I want to use a profile? I'll just use the default.
Nice.
Which I already set
You
up.
had a profile with my name on it.
I did because we were working on things together. So I
I feel
had
really
a,
special that I'm like in your computer like
I
that.
wouldn't take that too much to heart. Just so you know.
So what's happening right now?
Just so you know.
Just so I know what.
I wouldn't take it like
Why do I have a profile on
because we were working together. That's it.
there? Why would you could have named it anything though? Why'd you name it after me?
Well, it's gonna get renamed after this episode.
Oh my
that
God.
you can count on that.
I knew that was gonna happen.
What's
It's
it
because
doing?
I wore
What's-
this shirt.
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. You're such a Ross. What's this doing? Do you
That
know?
was offensive.
Do you know what this is doing? Can you
yes.
can you tell me just by looking at it?
Okay, so it's creating roles in IAM for you to be able to create the resources that you're going to create using Amplify.
Yes,
It's creating an S3 bucket
it is
for your deployment.
hmm
And it's creating a CloudFormation stack.
Yeah, it's using CloudFormation to create all of these things. So it creates by default 2 roles, an unauth role and an auth role. And
Okay.
these are roles assumed by your web app users automatically, right? So
if we don't add authentication, it would just assume to use the unauth role?
correct. If I just go and access the web page, I'm making calls to AWS services using this unauth role, right? And
Got
the Amplify library is what's doing that, right? The Amplify
Super
library hooks up with, we're going to see this in just a minute once
So
we
it
start adding
created
things.
a like almost like a federated.
I'll show you what it created. If I open code, it created this Amplify RC,
Okay.
which is a list of all the things.
All the roles.
It
The region,
created
the bucket name.
an Amplify folder, which has, honestly, you can basically ignore most of this stuff if you don't want to get
really
into
have
it.
To touch it.
Yeah, that's not the point of operating with Amplify is doing things through the CLI.
Right.
Typically, right? You can come in here and tweak things, and you have to really know what you're doing.
Okay.
You have to have a reason. But this is how the Amplify CLI it works with your project. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. So we haven't added anything to this project, really. We just have a project.
So how do we add off?
The pro tip told us how, actually.
Amplify add off?
Yeah. Remember when we typed in Amplify, it gave us a list of categories that we can work with. And there are actually I think Interactions is now the chatbot. So yes.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, Interactions is a chatbot, if I'm not mistaken.
Storage.
Storage is both S3 and Dynamo.
So like if you need your app to have users upload photos,
Yep.
set up that for you.
But we're going to add auth, and it's going to ask us a few questions. Do we want to use the default configuration?
Yeah, of course we do.
Hell yes, we
Yes,
do.
we do.
And that's it. We're done.
Well, now what? They
It's
just,
like we're not really done.
I didn't think so. I was like,
We're
there's
close
no
to
way.
done. We're very close
That
to
was
done.
one command.
We can go check and say amplify status and see what do we have in this project now. Oh, cool. We have this.
But it hasn't created it yet because it says create.
Yeah, we haven't done anything with it yet. We actually have 2 commands that we can work with. The tool actually told us.
Wow, it's so like intelligent. It's just smart. It's always telling us what our next step should be.
Yeah.
Amplify push.
I like any tool that makes me not have to think.
Me too.
Right? Yeah.
That's
Because I don't.
excellent.
It hurts
Well,
my brain place.
He's lazier than I am.
Well, it
That's a
hurts
fact.
my brain place to do all the thinking, right? Anyway, so
But it's true. When you're working and you're trying to get something done and you just want to get it done, this makes life easy.
yeah, for sure. We got 2 options here. We can run push or publish. What are the differences?
Yeah,
If we
push.
read a little bit, push will actually just go create the resources that you
Have added.
have added so far.
Okay, that's it.
That's it. If you run publish, it will also, and it's stipulated on our app hosting feature.
Okay.
It will not only push all of your changes to CloudFormation and
Okay,
create
so
the resources,
update your stack.
it also it builds your project and then deploys it as well.
Wow, that's really nice.
We're acting in an old TV show. But wait, there's more.
Thank you, dumbass. He says, I like those too.
I agree with half of his statement.
So do I. I don't like him.
Oh, I was going to say I don't like him either.
Oh, okay. So we agree.
Yeah, we agree finally on
Great.
something.
Jeez.
So
Okay.
I'm just going to run a push, and it's going to go run CloudFormation. Of course, it's going to ask me, are you sure you want to do this?
Are you sure you want to do
Are
this?
you positive?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I am.
How long does
Might
it
take a few minutes.
So what should we do now?
Well, we can come back to the README, I think, for now. And let's look through what the README says that we're going to...
We configured it.
Yeah, we did
went
that.
into the front end.
We ran an init.
We did that.
Right? We added auth and we pushed.
Yep.
That's where we are right now. While this is running, we also need to create a REST API with Amazon API Gateway.
Oh yeah, we're gonna use Swagger.
That's right. We're gonna
I
use
love Swagger.
What is Swagger?
Swagger is an open source framework for creating APIs with a JSON object. I originally used Swagger when it first came out to create API documentation, but now a lot of other companies have adopted Swagger as the framework for creating APIs. So API Gateway, actually, you can upload a Swagger file where you've defined your API and all the routes, and it will create the routes in API Gateway.
This is such a passive-aggressive tool for the two of us.
You just literally like secretly did it. Like
Yeah,
I
I'm
saw
like,
it in the background and I was like, oh God, talk faster, talk faster.
It's terrible.
It's really terrible. I think it needs to be 30 seconds. A minute is too long.
Do we want to tell why we were gifted this?
We were gifted this because I asked for one, like
Oh, you
verbally
did.
on the
Okay.
show.
Okay, I didn't ask for one. I thought it was
What?
because we talked too much. I
So
thought we
this
were
is-
being punished.
This is to limit. You talk too much. I'm fine.
I think someone's a little delusional.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think we both talk too much. So
Who gets off track more?
we need to create. Well, I just have a lot of information I'd like to share. That's how I look at it. We want to create an API gateway, but we want to define it beforehand so that we can create as many of these APIs, or track the changes that we're making to
Yeah,
our
if
API.
we saved it in a Swagger JSON file, then we can basically import it into API Gateway as many times as we want in as many different environments as we want.
That's right. And lucky for you people at home,
Lucky.
we created the Swagger document for you already, right? So if we just,
Blessed.
I know, #blessed, right?
Yes.
So we can walk through a little bit about this, right? Do you want to?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So
I'm watching questions, by the way, so
Yes.
if you have a question, feel free to
please.
stop us.
Yeah, we'll just ramble if you don't.
We will.
Uh,
And maybe we should turn the time.
That is a threat.
Oh, God.
So this is actually just the title of the API
Okay.
in API Gateway, so that I can
that's
go
great.
identify it.
So
in
it basically,
console.
it's the name of the project.
That's right. Yeah. What's security definitions? What's the whole point of this episode?
Authorization
What are we doing,
header.
right? Like, this is how you add all the authorization support and authentication support.
Oh, look it, you've signified auth type being Cognito user pools.
Right.
Said that we were going to use that today.
And that's what Amplify is now currently creating for us.
Don't you have to replace these values?
We do if we use Bash. We don't if we use PowerShell, because I was very nice and created a script that will go in and auto-replace your values.
We're really nice.
Sometimes.
Wow.
I'm like the Sour Patch Kids, right? Like, have you ever seen that commercial?
You're sour at first and then sweet later?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. Yeah.
So
No one believes
the first
that.
4 episodes you were being sour and now you've decided to be sweet?
No.
What happened exactly? I missed something.
Still sour.
Still sour.
Uh,
Okay. But he did a nice thing for you with PowerShell.
I did. I'm never sour to them, only to you.
Ah, I see how that works.
Yeah. It's like an us versus them, right? Us versus
What is
them.
this?
I don't know.
Just so you know,
Drama.
next week, everybody's gonna be on my side because I have the best Halloween
Oh
costume.
yeah, that's true. There's a great
You're gonna lose.
Halloween episode coming.
We're
I have
taking a vote next week over who's wearing the best Halloween costume, and if you don't pick me, like I don't even know.
I have a Halloween poem that I'm going to recite.
You
I didn't
wrote-
write it.
You wrote a poem?
No, I didn't write it, but I'm going to recite a poem.
No, they don't want to hear
A
poetry. They
poem.
want to see your code.
Okay, well, I'll recite it anyway. So it's Halloween. You have to use incantations. So we're defining out the paths, right?
So this is just the root
This is
path,
the root path.
basically.
Yeah, that's all, right? And we're defining out how it responds. This is kind of interesting too. So our NLB sits inside of a VPC, right?
Yeah.
So API Gateway doesn't automatically have access to resources in a VPC.
So we have to create a link.
That's right, and we'll do that with another PowerShell command. We'll watch that get done in real time.
Real time.
Yeah.
Ooh. You're actually going to be brave and type a command in your terminal?
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. We'll see how it works out. This is one of the ones that counts. This is one of the important API routes.
Oh, we recognize this one. We've been typing this one in the last couple of episodes to get the Mysfits.
That's right. /Mysfits. We've got an options here. That supports CORS. What's CORS?
CORS, cross-origin resource sharing. Did I just get the acronym?
Yeah, you got it. What does it do?
It allows one domain to be able to talk to another domain, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Through JavaScript, right? Typically, it's JavaScript that you're working in because the browser in JavaScript is an untrusted environment. Clients in general are untrusted environments. You can't just,
So you tell your browser in your domain to trust the information that it's receiving from
Right.
another domain.
You can't trust it
Or
to
the
call backend services directly or other services from other domains either, because you can you can really hose yourself doing
So
that.
to enable cores on these methods, all you had to do was just add the options.
That's right. The options is one of the core settings.
That was pretty easy.
Yep.
You can also just directly go in API Gateway and click the enable
You can.
cores
If you
button.
were to create all this without Swagger and manually, you could do that too. Here we've got another path. This is actually a path parameter.
This is a path parameter.
Yeah. So you
this
put
is
in
to
the
get
parameter.
one misfit.
Yes, correct. And it pulls that ID, and then it'll pass that as part of the event to your service or Lambda, for example. Lambda's often used with API Gateway a lot.
Yes.
Um,
You could put a Lambda endpoint, an API Gateway endpoint in front of your Lambda.
Right. So we've got a lot of things in here. We're just finding out the REST methods to use, like get, post, put, delete, those types of things too.
Got it?
Let's just go do it.
Let's do
What do you
it.
say?
Let's
What do you
create the VPC link.
That's right. So first, I
So
need to
where's your
create the
script?
VPC link, which is here.
Are we going to be able to see your script?
Yeah, it's right here. This is the command.
Oh, that's it? It's just one command. Cool.
One command. And I need another window. We're going to go ahead and start PowerShell on a Mac.
Wow. PowerShell core, if you're not familiar, cross-platform PowerShell.
Then I need to import my AWS, PowerShell.NET core. There's also Lambda. You can run PowerShell on Lambda. Pretty neat. So here we go. I'm going to copy the link in here, right? Or the command in here. What it's doing is creating a new VPC link, naming it this VPC link. I'm going to
Pulling the target ARN
put
of your
live in
NLB.
here. Well, this might fail if I don't, but we'll see. This is the
This is really
NLB.
live coding now.
Yeah, this is the NLB that we created.
I'm really proud of you.
I know. I'm Gryffindoring right now.
Okay, go.
Oh, it made it.
Pending.
You made it.
You did it.
I did
Good
it.
job.
Yay. Okay, cool. So now that VPC link is created, we can go import our REST API.
Swagger JSON into API Gateway.
That's right. So I've created, this is a script, like a straight up script, not just a one-liner.
Let's see it.
We can go look at it, I guess.
I guess. Are you not very proud of it?
I'm very proud of most things that I do. I try.
Really sad
It's a self-esteem
existence.
issue. It's fine.
We need to work on that with you.
It's okay.
Maybe I should stop teasing you and just give you compliments now every time you do something good.
No, probably not. That would feel really weird.
Yeah, probably.
Before we run the script, do we want to kind of recap where we've been?
Yeah, for those of you just tuning in, today we are adding user authentication to our Mysfits application using Amazon Cognito. We used Amplify to create the resources in Amazon Cognito, and then we're putting API Gateway in front of our network load balancer for our header authorization and then also routing. And so right now what we're doing is we are importing a Swagger JSON document into API Gateway to create all the resources and all the routes for us.
That's wonderful. That was a great recap.
Is that a real compliment?
Nope.
Stop.
I was just joking.
Did you guys hear that? Repeat
Sarcasm.
that.
It was sarcasm.
What?
Yeah, I'll say.
You go.
No, that was great. I was joking. I'm joking.
Really?
Joking.
Really?
I feel like I was very vulnerable there a minute, so I had to be, mean for a minute. So let's look at the script. It's very, there's a lot to it in terms of what it's doing. Remember, I told you I was really nice, and I replaced all the values, right?
I know, the only time you've ever been nice.
Basically lines 36 to 60 are all pulling and replacing values. That's all that's doing. So you can kind of ignore this, right?
Okay.
Unless it breaks on you, then you have to come dig in.
If you wanted to use Bash and not PowerShell, you would just go into the JSON object and replace the values, and then you could use the bash command in the README.
That's right. So I'm actually pulling in, so going through all of those files, right? I came in and processed the JSON. See that?
Okay, got it. So now you created another JSON object after you filled in all the values.
This is the real key PowerShell command right here. Import AG REST API.
Okay.
And then I just create it. That's it.
So then you just added the JSON through stream.
Right. Well, I'm using that API Swagger doc.
Right.
And that's it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Simple command. All right, run it.
Let me run it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Now I'm feeling self-conscious about it.
Really?
No, probably not.
I don't think so. You self-conscious? Not a doubt in my mind.
So I could come in here and go back to my other terminal, but Visual Studio Code gives me an integrated terminal here too. So I can just run commands
Really
right
convenient.
here. It actually opened PowerShell directly for me.
Wow, it knew that's what you wanted to do.
It detected a PS1 file and just boom.
Smart.
Open. Smarter than me.
True.
This might fail. It does because I think I already have an API with all this info.
What was the error?
The error is unable to put integration on Git.
VPC link was not found. Didn't you just create a VPC link?
Yeah, I did.
Do you have to replace the VPC link in the JSON?
No, you shouldn't. It's pulling it. See, there's the VPC link ID. But I changed it to live, didn't I? No, I didn't. We can go look at I didn't change. Yeah, see, look. API, VPC link.
Why don't you, it's pending. Can we check to see if it's done?
That's a good question, yeah. Let's go into my, I don't even know where this would be, actually. I assume VPC.
What was the command? Does it start with API gateway or VPC? Endpoints?
Endpoints. It's a good place to look. That's it, I believe.
Yep.
It says available.
Wait, but that says it was created October 3rd.
Oh,
Today
so
is
this
not
might be
October
another one.
3rd.
Oh, this is for Dynamo, actually.
Okay, that's not it.
That's not it.
Connections?
What's this one?
When was it created?
That's
No,
load
we're
balancer.
really live.
Yeah,
we're
this
really
is,
live
this
now.
is definitely. It also might be located
what is
in
connections?
API gateway. But we'll open both and kind of go through it. What's the chat saying? Oh,
Y'all got any more stickers?
And they don't even care that
we
we're
have
lost.
a
right
lot
now.
of stickers. If you're coming to reInvent, we will pass out. You're talking about our sticker? Yeah. I hope that you're talking about our sticker. We'll have more stickers.
Oh, hey, look, I found it. VPC links.
Oh,
I thought
nice.
so. It's here, available, but I have 2. Oh, this one's still pending.
It is still creating.
Correct.
So we have to wait.
Correct. That is correct. I could alter this.
Make stickers giveaway. They want us to give away stickers. What kind of stickers do you guys want? Like our sticker or like AWS stickers or Twitch stickers? What are we talking about?
It's a good.
We can do a stickers giveaway.
Yeah.
But that's for helping when we're stuck.
Oh,
We need
true.
help.
Yeah, nobody helped me here. I
Yeah,
just
nobody
figured it out myself.
helped. If you guys know things, tell us the things that you know.
Yeah, so this is still pending. Maybe I should just go ahead and copy the VPC link ID here and use the older
Brandon,
one.
we will get you a Twitch AWS sticker. Do you use a Mac by choice? Okay, so Cranjan says, do you use a Mac by choice for your development stuff or because it is part of being employed by AWS? It's a choice. I have a Windows and a
Send
Mac
help.
machine.
I'm being held hostage. I'm forced to use Apple hardware. No, I use it by choice. We get a choice of what hardware we want.
I have 2 laptops right now.
I actually like, it's not that I like Apple. I don't dislike Apple. I actually just like Unix-based
Yes.
systems a little more than I like Windows-based systems.
A lot more. Let's be honest with ourselves.
I'm being what we call diplomatic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's see if this will run now.
Welsh9 says, blink twice if you get to choose your laptop type. And then,
Oh, hey, look!
of course, they're going to use the best made laptops.
Look, it ran.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Did the other thing finish?
No, I changed the ID out with the old. I used the other
The one that was available?
Oh, now it's available.
Geez.
I shouldn't have even changed it. Yikes! Whoops.
Okay, so if it ran, then that means you should be able to go into your APIs, choose the one that was just created, and
Look,
see
I
all
have
the
2.
routes.
Which one?
Oh dear.
Yeah. So actually, we're not going to deploy from the console, right? We're going to be good
AWS
Good little programmers.
employees and developers.
Good little programmers. That's what I like to call us.
Good little programmers.
Good little programmers.
That's what we are.
It's my southern side coming out.
Smith Woodward says, where can we get a sweet Live with AM and Nicki sticker?
Ooh.
Reinvent.
We are open to bribes.
That too.
I'm just kidding.
We'll
Don't
mail
bribe
you
me.
one.
I'll give you
We
stuff
can
for
we
free.
can mail you one if you
You can have anything
help
for
us
free.
pair program.
Yes.
We'll do a sticker giveaway for anyone that helps us solve a problem that we encounter.
So let's see. Did my
Where are you now? I'm lost. You imported the Swagger JSON into API Gateway successfully.
Hey!
And now what?
Don't tell anyone.
What?
Don't tell anyone. I'm lost too.
Oh God.
I believe. Let's check. I believe our Amplify.
You're supposed to be driving today. You can't be lost.
I'm very
You
good.
were very specific about the
I'm a good
navigation.
driver. I'm a good driver. That's a Rain Man quote, by the way. Okay.
Crazy little, I know things. Flying to Hawaii takes longer
driver.
to fly
Great
out
driver.
there than it does to fly back. To fly back to where? What are we talking about? You're talking about coming to reInvent? reInvent's in Vegas.
Oh. Look.
AWS UI sucks. I'm not going to comment on that.
Look. Our auth stuff got created.
Nice.
Yeah. In Amplify. Amplify went out and created it for us.
So now what?
I want to show something that gets created, and that's very important. Okay. So this file gets created, and it tracks all of the ARNs and IDs and all the things of your backend services, so you don't have to. And all you do is you connect up this file with your
What does ARN
project.
stand for?
Amazon Resource Name.
Good job.
You didn't even
I really need like 30
you think that it would
seconds.
take me a minute to explain what an ARN
Well,
is?
just in case it took you more time to think about what it stood for.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I don't like this new environment
I
that
really
you've
like
created
it.
for
I
us.
really like it.
Let's go to the Amplify docs here. And I just want to show, I'm going to specifically go to the Angular.
This is also not on the AWS website. He's on a...
Yeah, you want to post this in the...
Yeah, I'm going to post this
chat?
link.
Yeah. Anyway, so I told you, right? And you believed me, and you should, because you can trust me. Anybody who always tells you that you can trust them, never trust
Do
them.
not trust him.
Not trustworthy.
Absolutely not.
But in this case, you can.
He doesn't like Friends. You can't trust him.
I like Seinfeld. So,
You can't be trusted.
we have two libraries here that we're importing into our local project. I told you there's 3 parts to Amplify, right? We already saw the CLI. We added backend services.
The libraries.
We also need the libraries. We need to install, if you're using Ionic, you need this one. If you're using Angular, you need these 2, right? That's all
Okay.
you need.
Let's
I'm not going
install.
to run through installing libraries. It takes too long and it's boring.
That's right.
I already have a project set up. But, so once we add these, we can start communicating by pulling in, and let me go pull up my other project. But this is the 3 lines of code that it makes the magic happen.
It makes the magic
It brings
happen.
Amplify and your backend services and your front end all together, right?
Wow.
And actually, if you're in the Victoria, BC area, we're about to fly out today and go talk
Oh,
at
we're going
the
to
Victoria
Canada.
AWS
We're taking
meetup about Amplify. We're going to talk about Amplify.
we're taking the plane that lands on water. What's it called?
Seaplane.
The seaplane.
Yeah, we're going to die.
And
We're
we're
going to
not
die.
gonna die. Enough of that. I've literally had enough.
We're going to die.
I went home and told Justin that
terrifying.
you said that we were gonna die, and he was like, "He's a great coworker."
Those are the planes, the small planes are the ones that often crash. That's all I'm saying.
We're not gonna die.
Okay.
Don't say that. We will be back next week. Do not worry.
If we're not, you know what happened.
Absolutely not.
Tell my
What is
wife I
wrong with
love
you?
her.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
He's exaggerating. This is a little dramatic.
I have what we call gallows humor. Or
Gallows humor?
yeah, gallows humor, right? It's humor about like topics that are serious, right? Like death.
dying?
Yeah, like dying in a plane. Yes, you do see who's scared of flying. I am oh, fake glasses. Wow, I'm gonna call that for the glasses.
Those
Wow.
are not fake.
They're not, they're
He needs
prescription.
those.
I can't see anything right now.
Okay, well, I need you to get back to this.
Right.
Focus.
Well, the chat's getting
Pay attention.
active. I like that.
I'm watching it.
Okay, so here, look, I'm pulling in the Amplify library, right? This is the main.ts file, okay? I don't know what all the faces mean.
Oh
I'm
my
too
god.
old.
They said I'm going to attack you.
Who's attacking me?
No, me.
Oh!
They said you're going to come back in crutches next week because I'm going to attack you. Whoa. I am not that violent.
No. So remember, if we pull in that AWS exports file, right?
Okay.
We're cool with that. Cool with that?
I'm cool with that.
Cool with that. Normally you would come in here and configure it just by using the Amplify library.
Right?
But I've got some custom things that I want to do on setup. And it involves, specifically, if we take a look, right, here's the API. We're going to go ahead and use the authorization header. And we're going to use the JSON web token, which, unfortunately, I think due to time, we can't get into too much. But Cognito has support for using JSON web tokens.
I'm going to post a link to documentation that's really helpful if you have never worked with JWTs before.
Right. So this is how I lock down the API in the front end and give it access. Well, I'm not locking down the API in the front end. I'm giving access to the front end using this authorization header.
Okay.
It pulls out from the current auth session, which comes off the Amplify library itself. I can pull the current session and it will have a JWT token. Cool. So I include that as the bearer token in the auth header.
Right.
And then that is how I gain access to the two APIs that we've locked down, like and adopt. Right, from the front end. And you can see that in our service, for example.
Let's go to that backend code that we've now added.
Oh yeah, we need to look at that backend code too. Let me just show real fast the actual service. I'm using two different HTTP clients. One is the built-in for Angular. These are endpoints that are not locked down. And then I'm also using the Amplify HTTP client called .api.
For the like and adopt methods,
That's
which you need to be authenticated to hit.
Correct. Yep. And so I gave it this shorthand of Mythical Mysfits API. And this is the like and adopt.
Got it.
Cool with it?
Yeah, so this is going to hit API Gateway, which is going to hit the NLB, which will then hit our container running with our .NET backend.
A lot of layers there.
A lot of layers there. So let's go to the backend and see those methods.
Sure.
Because those methods are going to hit our Dynamo database tier that we created on the last episode.
That's right.
2 weeks ago.
So this is our backend code here.
This is my code now.
You can walk us through this.
No, you can keep going.
Okay.
I'm just pointing out that this is my code.
This is our code.
In case you didn't know.
So I count you as a contributor to the front end too.
Oh, really? What contribution did I make?
Well, you just told everybody you didn't make any, so you probably should have just gone with that. We've got controllers here. That's where the magic happens. That's where the magic happens, right? That's one of the most important places to come look.
Yeah, and obviously Mysfits controller is going to be the one that we want to look at.
That's right. So we've got this API route, right? So it's the base route / API, and we've got a couple Mysfits in here. This is, you're indicating to us that this is the route.
Yep.
/ API / Mysfits, and these are not locked down, right?
It's not locked down. Anybody can hit it.
And guess what? This is kind of funny. You might expect. You even have it commented out here. You might expect to use the authorized framework in ASP.NET, right?
Yes.
ASP.NET Core has these authorized annotations that you can add that automatically handle the auth for you.
That's right.
But we don't need it.
We did not need it.
Why don't we need it in our actual service?
Because API Gateway handled the authorization before it even got here.
That's right. API Gateway is doing that for us. So we don't even need it, right?
Wasn't necessary. Had to delete it. Had to remove it. Commented out.
It's a sad story.
Probably should have commented out and then rechecked the SCODA, but mistakes happen.
Sure.
But you can at least see that there was a thought over
which
which methods should be authorized.
The controller, it's handling this light path, right?
Yes.
But, oh man, what's this?
That is the service that we talked about last time that I created to hit Dynamo.
Should I go?
You should go to it.
Should I go to it? I can go to the definition here. Oh, there we go.
So this is pulling in DynamoDB client using dependency injection.
That's right. We talked about that last week.
We did. And then making the calls to Dynamo
That's
based
right.
on what it is that we're getting or
Here's the new ones.
what kind of data we're obtaining.
Like
So,
and adopt.
Like and adopt. So the like one just updates the misfit object to have another like plus one.
That's right.
And then the adopt marks the adopted property on a misfit to be true.
Okay. Beautiful.
That's it. It's just really simple code.
It's pretty simple.
Very simple.
So then when I click a button in the...
We'll go through that path again. If he clicks a button on the front end,
Right.
his Angular code is now going to hit API gateway.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to send API gateway his JWT token in his header, which he showed you before. Where was that code that you were creating the header?
So look, I've got an adopt me.
Yes.
So when you click adopt me, it's linked up to this function.
Okay. So
And
go to that.
I have a misfit service.
You have a
I copied
service.
I copied your code.
Of course you did.
I didn't actually. This is how you write Angular code. If I go to the Misfits profile service, right, we can come in here.
There's the Amplify.
Yeah, we're
service.
pulling in Amplify there, and if we go all the way down to adopt, we can see Amplify is calling that API.
Right.
And it's, remember, we set it up in
Beginning with the header.
beginning with the auth header where it'll pull. So if I'm not logged in, it's going to get an error.
Right.
It's going to say not authorized.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And then API gateway is going to, if it is authorized, hit the NLB, which will then hit the running .NET container and hit the appropriate method and make a change in Dynamo.
There we go. I closed my README. I'm going to close.
I think you need to redeploy the front end and the back end.
Yeah, I think so. I think in the interest of time, I still have one running from when we were building this. Maybe we should just look at that. What do you think?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's see if there's any other
Yeah.
questions.
How's the chat going? You haven't looked at the chat. It's our code, comrade. Yeah, that's right.
LP Libator says, does it refresh session automatically?
Does it refresh session automatically? Amplify is what I assume you're
Yeah.
asking about.
Are you talking about Amplify? LB Libator? Let us know.
Yeah, if you're talking about Amplify, I'm not sure on the exact session handling that it does for you. I do know that it includes and there's definitely not, there's 8 minutes. There's not enough time to go into this. But there is a deeper utility inside Amplify. It's actually outside of the categories, but you can still use them. He said, or he or she says yes.
Yes.
It's called Hub. It tracks all the events, essentially, that are
So
happening
it
through
tracks
Amplify
session.
on the client-side JavaScript. So you could essentially, I don't know exactly what events it fires around auth, but it does fire a lot. So when sign-in happens, things like that. That's how I built. I think Adrian.
If you're using the
is-
default session handler, then the refresh tokens are refreshed automatically.
Thank you, Adrian.
Thank you so much.
Adrian's a dev advocate on the mobile team here at AWS.
Also known as Fizzy in the Hall.
Yeah. I believe that's Adrian Hall, if I had to guess. I think that's his handle for most things.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure it does track session because if you log in and you refresh the page, and you'll stay logged in for a good amount of time.
Gotcha.
Or rather, the ID and access tokens are refreshed via the refresh token.
Okay.
Yep, that makes sense.
It's good to know. Where are we in our README? I believe we deployed the API, right? Oh,
Yep.
no, we haven't actually made a deployment of API Gateway.
Right, so all we did was import the Swagger JSON object into API Gateway and set up all the routes. But until we deploy to a stage, so you can have different stages of your API, like test, production, staging, whatever. Until we actually deploy to a stage, it's not live.
Yeah, let's actually see what that looks like. I can run that script in less than 6 minutes, absolutely.
Yeah, well, let's see. This is the challenge. I
I'll run
hope
it.
you don't run into anything.
Well, that is unpredictable. I'm naming this stage prod because this is our prod.
That was the name of your API.
Correct. So I come in here. Yep, can't do it. Of course, that would be too
That'd be
easy.
way too easy.
Yeah, no, don't want to do
Wait,
that.
why is it failing?
Uh,
Convert object types to the
I think there's multiple APIs now named Mysfits API.
Go
So
delete one.
I could go delete one. Yeah, sure. Let's see. I don't know which one to
This one.
delete though. How do you know?
Go down.
Yeah, I've got 2 here.
Settings.
Settings.
See if it says like when you created it.
No. I could do this. Let's see. Get API list. This is what I'm gonna do. Watch this. And then, oh my Lord, there we are. Just gonna do this right here, and then format of table.
The tall pants. You're allowed to have multiple APIs with the same name.
Yeah, you can.
Yep. Yes.
If you're not very smart.
Methodology.
Like I am.
Hey, this is off topic from what this stream is about, but can someone explain something to me about WordPress and PHP?
Oh.
Yeah, that's not going to be my expertise. Can you answer that question?
WordPress and PHP. WordPress runs on PHP. That's a pretty broad.
Yeah, what specifically?
Question. I want to keep the 9 to 12 one. That's what I want.
More specifically, methodology.
In J6, I can come in here and see which one that is by clicking. I believe if I go to stages. Anyway.
No.
Oh, this one doesn't even have stages, so
It's
guess
that
what?
one.
There we go. It's this one. Actions delete.
Wait, I was going to say, is that the...
Enter the name, Mysfits API. Delete. Find out. It's cool. Live coding, right? This is what you wanted from me.
This is what I wanted from you.
All right, there we go.
Nice.
There we go. Made a prod deployment.
Okay, so now if he goes into the API, he should see the actual URL live in his... So go to stages.
Correct. Prod.
Prod.
And if I click on it, it'll give me an actual
There's the invoke URL.
And
so now he can like hit that endpoint from like the terminal, Postman, whatever interface you enjoy interacting with APIs with.
/API/
Which for AM is most definitely the terminal.
Yeah, it's always the terminal for me. That might take a minute. Fire up, right? Oh.
Why'd you get an error?
I don't know.
I don't think you need API anymore. Do you?
Well, maybe not. Let's try that.
No.
Missing authentication. Yeah, you definitely have to have API. There's something in my underlying service that's not happy.
Is it working?
It may not be working, actually.
Like, is the container running?
We can check that too. And now Nikki will sing a song for you.
What? Okay, I really can't sing though. Like, that's like one of, like, it's not a skill.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nikki Klein.
No, there is no singing that comes from my mouth. Like, you'll just cry. Like, everybody will just be like, methodology. Earlier, I tried to store database credentials in a separate file, include that file in WP config, but didn't seem to work. When I tried using those variables in WP config in place of the usual strings. You're not dumb, first of all. We all struggle with these kinds of things.
We're currently struggling with these kinds of things.
Literally.
Like at this exact moment.
No song. You don't want to hear me sing. Trust me. Like, really? Like, just take my word for it.
Here, pick from this huge catalog of public domain songs.
Ask my fiance. Every time I sing, he's like, stop. Like, immediately.
Yeah. You can sing, like, Camptown Races, I think. That won't get us taken down for copyright infringement. Yeah, I'm not positive what exactly is happening here. It might have been that
Methodology. One of the things I can think of is that maybe you're not referring to the file correctly. Like, you're not, if it's in, you're not calling it from the right directory of where it's located.
What's that?
Well, I don't know where his file is in his file structure, but if he's calling a file and he's not referencing it correctly, it might not be able to pull that file.
I also now have 2 VPC links, so that might be an issue too. There's always that. I'm going to delete that one.
That was just a guess, though. Isn't that the one that you created the API with?
You know, sometimes you just guess. When you're at time, you just guess.
Oh, no.
We can actually take a look real quick. I already fired up my... so just to show you.
Sing about how you're going to die on the plane.
I love
Oh
that.
my God.
I love it. Yeah.
I think he should sing.
I will
about
be
that.
singing inside
He
my
actually
head.
was in a band. He can actually sing. Like,
Yeah,
I
that's
cannot
okay.
sing. He can really sing. You should be encouraging this one to sing.
So look, I'm gonna just pull this out real quick, and we're gonna use a site called jwt.io. We're gonna see. I can come in here. Well, it's not really cooperating. Oh Lord. Okay. Anyway, if I could.
What are you trying to
this.
do?
I'm trying to copy paste this thing. We've got like probably 5 minutes tops before we get the cord pulled on us.
Lights out.
Yeah, lights out. Well, and then we get on the airplane and it's real lights out.
Stop it. Oh my God. The morbid jokes need to end now.
No more.
I am not going to die. Maybe you'll die. I'm
Yeah.
going to be fine.
You'll survive. Everyone knows that. Let me see. I just need a place to copy paste this. Hey, it worked. Okay, cool. But that doesn't look like the full...
JWT token has 3 parts.
3 parts.
Header, payload, signature. They're all separated by a period. So the first part would be the header, period, payload,
That's right.
period, signature.
And they're all base 64 encoded strings.
Which is why you decode it.
I don't know. This is kind of weird. Anyway, let's log in. I may not be able to get the API working, but I can get the login process working. This is the custom authenticator that I built. Actually, if you go to that Angular page, or not, the Angular authenticator page, I think they had a picture of it somewhere in here. The view component.
They have a UI component that they pre-built that it'll look exactly like a sign-on object. In fact, I have it on my I can send you the link.
Yeah. Here we go. Maybe here. Here we go. Look.
Yeah,
Here's
that's
your
what it looks
user
like.
auth. Yeah, this is what it looks
Yeah,
like.
so you can drop in.
But I
your
wrote my
component.
own. Created my own.
Because you're special.
Well, no, because it needed to match the other project in Python, which they built their own too. So I built my own as well. So I can.
Does it work?
Yeah, it works. I can register. I can go back to login. I can log in. I actually have a user created already, which I was
Look at you.
going to show. Let's see. I think that's the password. We'll find out right here in a minute. Yeah, log out now. It tracked my session. If I come in here, you know what? I got to do that one more time.
Why?
Because I didn't have the network tab open, so you couldn't see what was happening. Watch, it's going to call Cognito. It's pretty cool. There you go. Look at all those calls to Cognito. It's kind of small. I can't actually. There we go.
Yeah, make it bigger.
So there's a bunch of calls to Cognito to then go get tokens for me, auth tokens, in the form of JWT tokens, which I was also trying to pull out and then go inspect. Here we go. Here's one of the access tokens. Maybe this will work better for me now.
Famous last words, I'm not gonna die. Oh my God. Okay, now everyone has started this.
I love it. Look what I've created. What kind of monster have I made?
A lot of them, apparently.
I love it. I don't know what's happening. I can't pull
hang
this
out with
out.
you anymore if you think we're gonna die.
This is a jwt.io page. That's what this is. It's for use with decoding accurate JWT tokens, but
It's
I can't.
missing a piece.
I know I can't pull.
The whole thing?
Yeah, I don't usually use Firefox.
Yeah, that is weird. Why are you using Firefox today?
Because all of my bookmarks are in Chrome. And a behind the scenes type thing, they don't like the bookmarks on them.
Right. Secrets.
Let's see. Anyway, we have about a minute left. I'm not going to horse around with this anymore.
Let's talk about what we're going to do next week.
This is a JWT token, though, just to reiterate. You can pull this out once you've logged in, put it in here, and you'll see there are claims inside of these JWT tokens so that you can see things like the user ID, which is usually tied to a registered claim called sub. There's an issuer, ISS, another claim that's registered.
And then you can add custom ones.
Correct.
As well.
You can add your own just to give information, like a role, for example. That's how you would join authentication with JWT with authorization, where you get that role passed, validate it that it was a true JWT token that was signed by your private key, with the public key. We didn't get into all that. We could talk about that maybe in another episode.
Yes, we can.
What are we going
into
to talk
brief
about
it
next week? Next week's Halloween.
Next week is Halloween. We're gonna dress up.
My favorite
You don't want to
holiday.
miss it. I told you my costume is going to be one you don't want to miss. We are going to. So now we've built this great website, and we have a data tier, and we have authentication, so users can sign in and log in.
And it'll work next week.
It'll work next week. We'll make sure that it's working. But now we need to be able to track metrics on our website and capture user clicks to see what users are doing, and obviously iterate as time goes on based on where users are having trouble or what they're clicking on the most, those kinds of things. And so we're going to capture user clicks using
Analytics.
Yep, it's analytics next week using Kinesis. We're going to
Yep.
send all the clicks to Kinesis Firehose, and then we're going to have a Lambda that pulls them out of Kinesis. So we're going to talk about serverless next week.
Yeah, my favorite.
It's my favorite too. We're going to go into analytics a little bit with Kinesis, and we are going to use that Lambda to transform the data and then dump it into an S3 bucket where we could pull it out, query it, do what we feel like with it.
I just want to call out too before we end. The one piece that didn't let me down today,
Yeah,
AWS Amplify.
that's
I got login all set up.
it's his favorite. It's not a service, but it's his favorite AWS
Tool.
product.
I like it a lot. It's great.
It's great.
All right. Well, that'll do it for us, right?
Yep. Please tune in next week. Don't forget, it's Halloween. We will be dressed up. At least I will be dressed up.
I will not be dressed up. I'll have a special shirt.
A special shirt. Wow, you're going all out for Halloween.
For sure.
It's disappointment.
Good.
Provided that we don't die today.
Yeah.
Anyways,
If we're back next week.
we'll see you next week.
All right. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much, guys.